Yes. Can
Okay,
you hear?
I can. Yes, thank you. And then is Jeremiah Fletcher on the line? And Lavana Fletcher, if you're on the line. If either of you are on the line, both of you are on the line, please unmute and state your name. Jeremiah Fletcher, Lavana Fletcher. Okay, I'm not hearing a response. One thing I wanted to touch base with, let me just pull my screen over here. Touch base with Ms. Fletcher is the issue of service. I saw the declarations of service that were filed that show there was served upon both on September 9th an order to go to court, but then there was an amended order to go to court. And
Correct.
and I didn't see that that was served upon either of them. Did you serve that amended order to go to court on them?
Yes, I did. I never sent the original one because they gave it back to me and told me I had to amend it. So it was only the amended order that got served.
Okay. So let me pull up the declaration of service and we'll take a quick look at that together. Bear with me just one moment. Okay, so I'm pulling up the declarations of service that were filed on September 11th. So the first one I'm pulling up is the service upon Jeremiah Fletcher. Shows that he served on September 9th, and it shows he was served with a copy of a notice for a hearing for today's date, September 24th, the motion for contempt hearing document, and then an order to go to court for contempt hearing.
Correct.
And so what the court looks at that, because there's two orders. There's an order to go to court, and then there's an amended order to go to court. And the language here has to be relatively precise in that if you served somebody an order to go to court, you state that. If you serve somebody an amended order to go to court, it has to say that. And with that omission of that single word, it's clear to me, at least from the face of that document, that he was not served the amended order to go to court.
Well, he's not here today because the court told me I have to serve all parties in this case, and I did, but the contempt order is not on him. It's only on Lavana. So we were under the impression that he did not have to appear today.
Okay, so we've talked about his, and so the service on him is deficient because he wasn't served with an amended order to go to court today. So then let's take take a look at hers.
I never sent out anything but the amended order. The first order got bounced.
That may be, Ms. Fletcher, pardon the interruption, that may be, but the document that was submitted says order to go to court. It does not say amended order to go to court. Do you see what I'm saying?
Okay.
So then let's take a look at Lavana's. There it shows that she was served on September 9th down in Vancouver, and she was served a notice of hearing, a motion for contempt hearing, and an order to go to court for contempt hearing. So importantly, the word amended isn't included in the order to go to court. So there, some may consider it, a ticky-tacky thing, but really it's key because that's when people are told when they need to come to court, because the first order to go to court had a different day on it, and the amended order to court had a different day on it. So that's a long way for me to say that that service isn't properly effectuated. So the case we can't have the hearing today without that proper service being in place. So what I'd like to do is reset it to allow for that service of the amended order to go to court for a different date. So we can't hear it today, so we won't have the hearing today.
Does it still go forth if she brought me a check yesterday, so she's compliant now?
That's kind of up to you. That's up to you. If you feel that that's an adequate response to your request, then there's no need to go forward with it. If you feel like you want to move forward with it, then we'd have to reset it. So it's kind of up to you what your feeling.
I don't care to go forth because it costs me a couple $100 every time I have to have them served. So she brought me a check yesterday, and it was a cashier's check, and it was good to go. And she said she'd see me here this morning. So she knows we have court today.
Right.
I care not to go forward.
Okay. So with the receipt of the cashier's check, you feel fine with things and just letting it just kind of die out at this point, the motion not going forward, and call it good, and then you move forward and caring for Trinity.
Yes.
Okay. All right, I'm fine with that. We'll just we won't reset it, and we'll just let the motion end now. And if there's further issues, certainly you could address those through another motion or what have you.
Thank you, Your Honor.
All right, thank you, Ms. Fletcher.
Mhm.
8. There, I'll just check in, make sure we have all the parties here. Jessa Booth, are you on the line?
Yes, I'm here.
Okay, welcome to you, Ms. Booth. And I'll check in to see if Alicia Dyer is present. Alicia Dyer, if you're here, unmute and state your name, please. Right, not hearing a response there. Then I'll call for Mark Bishop. Mark Bishop, if you're on the line, please state your name. Okay, not a response from either Ms. Alicia Dyer or Mr. Mark Bishop. One thing I wanted to check with you, and it's going to be kind of a similar topic, Ms. Booth, as I was speaking with Ms. Fletcher, related to service. So when I was looking at the file in preparation for today's docket, let's see. I saw the order to go to court that was filed on September 17th that set the motion for today. And then were you able to serve that document upon either or both of the parents, Ms. Dyer and Mr. Bishop?
I have no idea the whereabouts of Miss Dyer. She is currently homeless and on questionable locations. And I have no idea the location of Mr. Bishop either. So I did not serve it because they're foreign to me, I guess. I don't know where they are.
Yeah, serving folks that you don't know where they're at or they're transient, it makes it particularly difficult. So the law and procedure allows for alternative means of service.
Okay.
And some of those alternative means of service may be an email address or a mailing address or even publication in a newspaper. Those alternative means of service require some type of order from the court that allows that, because normally it's just regular service upon somebody. And if you can't find them, then there's a particular form where you kind of lay out your rationale of like, hey, I can't find these people. This person's transient. They're struggling with addiction, or this person hasn't been involved in the child's life for X number of years, what have you. And then you just kind of lay that out and you bring that motion to the court. And you could just simply submit it and it could be reviewed by a judge, and then you can get a decision, what they call ex parte, meaning not like a full hearing.
Okay.
You can submit it and then say, hey, judge, this is where we're at, and I would like an alternative means of service. So that may be someplace where, either parent may be either frequents or stops in or has lived in the past, or is a known mailing address or a known email or some other electronic means of service. And so that's and then looking at doing that, you can check on a web page. It's called WashingtonLawHelp.org, if you're familiar with that.
Okay.
You can check there for the particular forms for that type of motion to serve alternatively. Also, another resource is the CLEAR hotline, CLEAR hotline. Are you familiar with that?
No, I'm not.
That's a hotline that's staffed by licensed attorneys in the state of Washington. They have limited hours, and they can provide particularized service and counsel, and they can even refer you to, say, like the local legal aid group here in town. So those would be the kind of the options and some general direction of what you can do to kind of move the case forward.
Okay.
So right now there is that. Let me just pull it up here. Is your petition for the appointment of a minor guardianship, and just double checking. So there was signed on the 17th of September an immediate order for an emergency minor guardianship and also the restraining order. So what that did, it appointed or set you as the limited guardian.
Okay.
And then it set a hearing on whether we would extend that order today's date. And then that's where notice needed to be given to the parents, but it wasn't. For, like you said, for some good reasons, because since you don't know where they're at. So in just going back here, I'm just looking at your initial motion for show cause. Okay, so ASRE 17, correct?
Correct.
Right, okay. Do you have some leads of where you think she might be staying, the mother?
Maybe in a camp trailer
Okay.
somewhere. I have no idea. And then the father lives in Arizona. I know that.
Okay. All right. So let's see. So what I think what I'll do, I'll continue the emergency minor guardianship and restraining order.
Okay.
So I'll continue that, and then this is something you'll have to kind of get on pretty quickly, as far as getting your motion for alternative service in.
Understood.
So let's take a look. So today we are on a Tuesday, the 24th. I'm going to set the matter over to October 15th.
Okay.
So hopefully by October 15th, you will have served them, and then we'll have the opportunity to have that motion. But I am going to continue that emergency minor guardianship and restraining order, and
Okay,
we'll
thank you.
extend it through the 15th of October. So any questions?
No, thank you.
Okay, so we'll see you on October 15th, and then we'll look forward to your motion for alternative service, and then you can go ahead and get them served, and then we'll be back here on that date.
Okay, thank you.
Right. Thanks, Ms. Booth. Cause number there. I'm looking for Patricia Everdell as the guardian.
I'm here, Your Honor.
Okay, welcome to you, Ms. Everdell. And then I'm looking for Christopher Davis. Are you on the line, Mr. Davis?
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay, welcome to you, Mr. Davis. And then Crystal Sherwin. Are you on the line, Crystal Sherwin?
Yes.
Okay, welcome to you. All right, we are here on the guardian's motion on the guardian's motion. So I just want to double check with the parties. There was some indication in the pleadings that there may be some agreement to the minor guardianship, and I just wanted to address that with the parties first. So maybe Ms. Everdell, you can share your perspective, then we'll hear from Mr. Davis and Ms. Sherwin.
Yes, CPS had closed their case, I believe, last Monday, leaving the child in dad's custody. Child wanted to come home and was threatening running away and a few other issues. So I agreed to take the child for now, until maybe she can reconcile with one of her parents. I definitely feel like she wants to reconcile with mom. She's just not comfortable with mom's boyfriend, and that's a hard situation. So I think we're just kind of waiting out a little bit and giving her some stability right now. I got her into RA Long and hoping to get her on my insurance so we can get her to the doctor and whatnot.
Okay. All right. And then what's your vantage point as far as is there general agreement between you and the parents that Nakia would stay with you for a period of time?
Yes, I've been in contact with both parents.
Okay.
Pretty frequently. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Thank you. Thanks, Mr. Everdell. Mr. Davis, are you still on the line?
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay. What's your take on things? Are you comfortable if with the arrangement where Ms. Everdell is taking care of your daughter for the time being?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. And in order to kind of make sure that Ms. Everdell has the abilities to properly care for Nakia, there's generally powers that are granted to a guardian, such as, healthcare decision making, be able to take her to the doctor, or get her enrolled in school, other things of that nature. Are you comfortable if she has those powers on a temporary basis?
Yeah.
Do you have any concerns or any questions?
No, I don't. The only concern I have is her going back to her mom and stuff, just because the accusations and stuff of what was inside the house. So that's my only concern. But other than that, no.
Okay. So, okay. All right. Okay. Thank you. And Ms. Sherwin, as far as Nakia staying with Ms. Everdell, do you have any questions or concerns about that?
No.
Okay. And you're comfortable with that arrangement, at least for now?
Yeah, I think in the paperwork we put that we would just do joint, which is fine.
Could you repeat that for me? There's a little, I didn't quite catch it.
I think in the paperwork we had said that we would do joint, like as long as me and her are communicating, she can have that portion.
Okay. All right. And so in the order that was signed back on the 17th of September, it states a couple of things I just want to review with both parents. It says that custody would be with Ms. Everdell of Nakia, that there's no restraining orders in place, and that there's no indication here as far as powers given to the custodian, Ms. Everdell. Sometimes there'll be healthcare decisions, school decisions, and access and ability to release healthcare records and other powers. Does either parent, Mr. Davis or Ms. Sherwin, have any concerns if Ms. Everdell had that authority while she has Nakia?
No, Your Honor.
Okay, so Mr. Davis, you're fine with that, and then Ms. Sherwin, what's your response?
I'm fine.
Yeah, I'm fine with that.
Okay, so definitely Mr. Davis is fine with that, and then I couldn't really hear Ms. Sherwin. Just want to make sure I hear it clearly.
I'm fine with it.
Okay, all right. Thanks for your patience. I appreciate both of you for your patience with that. And then, is there any indication as far as the parties, as far as length, or is this something you're just kind of playing by ear, Ms. Everdell?
I think we're just playing it by ear. I'm just trying to work with Nakia, possibly get her some counseling and see if we can get some guidance through that avenue.
Okay, all right. And then, Mr. Davis, what's your take on his potential length of the guardianship?
That's pretty much where I'm at. I'm with Patricia Everdell about that, about her staying there, getting her counseling and stuff. She was in my care, and she just wanted to kind of go back home because she kind of threatened to run away and stuff. So I want her somewhere where she's safe and comfortable, where she knows everybody.
Okay, all right. Thank you, Ms. Sherwin.
Yeah, we're just playing it by ear. We're trying to make her as comfortable as possible and get her the help that she needs until she's comfortable and safe.
Okay. All right. It sounds like you both have confidence in Miss Everdell in taking care of Nakia and keeping her safe.
Yes.
Okay. All right. One moment, please. Okay. So with the what it sounds like the parties are in agreement, and if everybody's come together to make sure Nakia is safe and well taken care of and comfortable for the time being. So I'm going to grant the custody or the minor guardianship of Nakia to Ms. Everdell. So I'm granting that. And then as far as GDN, Michael, Nancy, 223. I have those 3 forms that I was given earlier. Could you send out a little email to a friend and ask them to bring that document in? That'd be helpful. So my apologies for not having everything ready to go. What I'd like to do is just have that document brought in so I can fill it out and then just inform everybody of what it says. That'll take just a few moments for that to come into the courtroom. If you all can wait just a bit, I can address the next matter, and then we can come back to this, and then I can give you the specifics. Ms. Everdell, do you have time?
Yes, I'm good.
Appreciate it. Thank you. Mr. Davis?
Yeah.
Okay, thank you. Appreciate that. Ms. Sherwin?
Yes.
Okay, very, very much appreciated, all of you. We'll be right back with you. Here we just do a quick roll call, make sure we have everybody here. I'll see if Dinah Shane is on the line. Dinah Shane, are you on the line?
I'm here.
Okay, welcome to you. And who's seated next to you, Ms. Shane?
I'm Mackenzie Pitts. I'm a daughter, also
Okay.
on there. It's co-petitioner.
Okay, great. Thank you, Ms. Pitts.
Mhm.
Then I'll just call the name Derek Malone. Derek Malone, are you on the line? Okay, no response. And then Brooke Parrish or Brooke McDermott, are you on the line?
Yes, I am.
Okay, and what's your preference as far as last name?
Parish, because I haven't changed it legally yet.
Okay, all right, very good, Ms. Parrish. Thanks for being here.
Thank you.
So here there's been a motion filed for an emergency minor guardianship, and that was filed, and then there was a motion for a order to show cause, and I just want to make sure, Ms. Parrish, did you receive a copy of those documents related to the minor guardianship?
I did. I was served at work on Thursday.
Okay.
I received the documents, and then I got all my facts together and I overnighted them to your guys' superior clerk. She got them yesterday and she was processing them, and she wasn't sure if they were going to be in time for court, but I have all of it right here.
Okay, great. Thank you. And then I'll double check with Ms. Shane and Ms. Pitts as far as the declaration of service or proof of service. Has that been filed with the court?
I did a proof of service for Brooke, parish.
Uh-huh.
But we did 2 attempts on Derek. The one was somebody non-party to the action, and another one was the sheriff's office. And I don't know if they were able to serve him or not.
Yeah, from my vantage point, it looks like I don't see anything that's been filed that shows that he has been served. He may have, and I just haven't received any of those documents.
Okay.
But as far as him, it looks like he has not yet been served, or there's no proof of service.
Okay.
Then as far as Ms. Parrish, did the declaration of service related to giving her those documents, is that something you've also filed?
Yes.
I filed everything.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I didn't know. Are you asking me or?
I wasn't very clear in the recipient of my question. My apologies. Yeah, I was asking now Ms. Shane or Ms. Pitts as far as the filing of your declaration of service of the documents upon Ms. Parrish. Is that something that you filed, and if so,
Filed that yesterday.
Yesterday. Okay, so there is a little bit of a lag times of that processing. So I appreciate that, knowing that. And it sounds like Ms. Parrish has confirmed that she did receive that. And then my next question is relates or is directed towards Ms. Parrish. Ms. Parrish, you indicated that sounds like you prepared some type of response and mailed that in and served and filed it with the court. Okay. And then what's generally your position related to the petition or the request? Are you in favor of it or in opposition or
I'm in
something?
opposition completely.
Okay. All right. So what we need to do, since there's been a response filed, I haven't read it, and it sounds like Ms. Shane and Ms. Pitts have received that, or will shortly receive that. You haven't received it yet.
No, we have not.
Okay. So we all kind of need to know each other's respective positions and have read them and be prepared to know what each of the parties are saying.
Okay.
So I think given the information that I've read, what I can do is I would, in the position of continuing the emergency minor guardianship and restraining order until the next hearing, which could be as early as either next week or the following week. And that way, each party would have the benefit of knowing what the other party has said based on the pleadings that have been indicated, have been filed. So I just want to hear if there's any concerns related to that. I'll first hear from Ms. Shane and Ms. Pitts, and then from Ms. Parrish.
I don't think there's any concerns with that. I think for me personally, I feel like I'd like to know what she has to say. So I 100% would like to see it.
Okay, thanks.
Yes, I agree with that.
Okay, thanks. Ms. Parrish?
So when I'm kind of confused about the way that it works, so I sent in all my information and I have to get it served to Mrs. Shane, right?
Yes, correct.
Okay, and I do that myself, not the court.
Right. Yeah, that's right. Yeah. So once you submit your response to the court, that would be filed. That'll go into the court file. That'll allow the judge to read it. And then you will have made a copy of all your documents before turning them into the court. And then those documents you would send and send to Ms. Shane and Ms. Pitts. And you can do that by mailing them, or you can do it by personal service or what have you. Either one of those works fine.
All right. So I'll have them served with the documents, both of them, Mrs. Pitts and Mrs. Shane.
Yeah, I think, and just to confirm this, I think this is what Ms. Pitts said earlier, that they were co-petitioners in the petition. So if they're co-petitioners, then they would need they need to be served with 2 copies, 1 for each.
And you said I can just send it in the mail, or I can have somebody serve them?
Correct.
Okay. And do I have to have all the information that I sent in the packet that I sent to the courthouse? Do I have to get that? Is that going to be approved? Is it already approved? Or because, I know sometimes if you don't do the paperwork correctly, they send it back.
That is true. I don't know the answer to your question of whether it's been accepted by the clerk's office. Oh, clerk just told me, yes, it has been accepted. So it's going to be processed and filed.
Okay, awesome. So just I'll get a copy of that already for them and I'll send it to both of them. Okay.
And then once you've mailed it to them or served them, then you'll need to file what's called a declaration of service or an affidavit of service. And if do you have an idea where you can get that document?
No, because I'm in Texas.
Okay. You can go, there's a couple of different sources that you can go to. One is a website called Washington Law Help. So washingtonlawhelp.org. That's one. Another is the courts. This is the website courts.wa, meaning WA.gov, and then forms, or so Washington court forms. You could do a Google search. And then once you're there, you can do kind of a search all and look for either declaration of service or affidavit of service. It'll pull up a blank form. And then you can use that to show that somebody other than yourself has served them the documents.
Okay.
And
So I
then
gotta
you
get it
submit that
served.
declaration.
Sorry.
Sorry.
Sorry. Ron. Okay, so I have to serve them, and then I have to get a declaration of an affidavit declaration of service. So is that me sending it to the courthouse or getting the
Right.
paperwork and sending it back to the courthouse?
Correct.
To be ready
Correct.
for the next court date.
Correct. And just be aware, you can't be the one that's actually giving the papers to them or mailing the papers to them. It'd have to be somebody other than yourself. It has to be a third party, not a litigant.
Okay, so I just find someone that will go and serve them in a professional party. Okay, that's fine.
Yeah, that's fine if you want to do it that way. So what I'll do, I think with it sounds like with the, and I'll ask the parties what your thoughts are. If 2 weeks is sufficient, or if you think 3 weeks would be better, I'll hear from petitioners, Ms. Shane and Ms. Pitts, what you think, and then Ms. Parrish, 2 or 3 weeks.
Well, I just have a question about that, about the other court date that we do have for the 8th.
Oh,
Yeah, I guess
We extend.
yeah, do we extend that? What do we do?
yeah, so I think you're referring to the summons. The summons set a date. Let's see where it's at. October 8th. So it's currently set for October 8th for the summons date. So we could just combine both hearings into one and then just save everybody a little bit of time.
Okay.
We can do that. Okay.
Okay.
Okay, so October 8th, just be back here. I'm in Texas, so I'll get a Zoom meeting, I'm sure, and I'll get some sort of notification.
Yeah, and just so you're aware, the Zoom link, if you go to the Cowlitz County Superior Court website, if you click on Zoom, there's a little blue box on the front page. You click on that and then just go to a particular day, and then you can see a listing of the different dockets by time. And then that's where you just click on that and you'll be able to find the Zoom link and zoom right in.
Okay, so I actually bought plane tickets to come get my daughter. I'm gonna have to get those changed, correct? I was supposed to come get her on the 5th, and then I was served with papers saying I'm on drugs. So I just want to know like what I should do in that aspect.
Yeah, so at this point, there is the, let's see where it's at. There is the immediate ex parte emergency minor guardianship that's in place and restraining order that's in place. That'll continue until the next hearing on October 8th. We'll make additional decisions as to what the next steps are. So, so probably need to know what happens at that hearing before you can make any definitive plans.
Okay, awesome. Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you.
So what I'm going to do, I'm going to continue the emergency minor guardianship and restraining order that was issued on September 17th. And that will be in place until we come back on October 8th for the next hearing. So let me just double check, Madam Clerk. Yeah, the extended one. I've got that one. Perfect. Let me check with Ms. Pitts and Ms. Shane if you have any questions.
No, actually, her question just kind of answered ours on the restraining order. Just trying to make sure everything is dialed in, really. Yeah, just for Journey's sake. So.
Okay. Yeah. So at this point, what the order is doing, it's on an emergency basis. Ms. Shane is appointed as the emergency guardian over Journey, and that Ms. Parrish is just restrained from the going to Journey's coming within 1,000 feet of the home, workplace, school, daycare of Journey where she's living. So that's the order that's going to be continued until we come back on the 8th.
Okay.
Okay.
Your Honor.
Okay. And then Ms. Parrish, do you have any questions?
Nope, I'll get all this done and I will see you on the 8th, Your Honor.
Okay, very good. All right, so I'm just going to take a moment just to write out that extension order, the continuation of that order. And I'll just take a few moments and I'll let you know once it's done. And that way you know that the case is done and nobody's saying anything more about it until we come back on the 8th.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Who do I have present on that matter?
Mackenzie Pitts.
And Dinah Shane.
Okay.
And Brooke
And who are
Parrish.
the petitioners, is that correct?
Yes.
Okay, very good. And who else do I have?
Brooke Parrish, the mother of Journey Parrish.
Very good. And I believe we're before the court on two matters today, to approve the petition and for an order to show cause. Is that your understanding as well?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. Let me just get into the file here. Have we got service on the father in this matter?
We have been having such a hard time trying to serve him because as far as we know, he doesn't have a place. We have tried, and the last person who tried to serve him said that
Well, the sheriff's office.
well, yeah, the sheriff's office also tried, and then we had a person non-party to the action trying to serve him, and when she talked to someone, they said that they weren't living there and that he was couch surfing. So
Okay. Does he, I guess let me take a step back. Have those proof of non-service been filed with the court?
yeah, from the last hearing, that one is already filed.
Well, one was, do we have to file the?
Oh, I guess I do have a question on that. So the Cowles County Sheriff's Office, did they file paperwork or did we have to? I guess we should have asked that a while ago. I'm my bad on that. Because I was
They said they had their own paperwork for it, so I wasn't sure.
So typically when the sheriffs are serving on your behalf, they do file, and I do see that a proof of non-service was filed on September 26th.
Okay.
And it says that Mr. Malone was not found. So at this point, I don't see that father has received service. With no fault on you both, as it seems that there has been several attempts. But before me, I don't have proof that he's been served. And I need that to proceed.
Okay.
Have either of you filed a request with the court to allow for alternative service?
No, when we spoke to someone last week, they said that we have to do it in court with you.
To ask the judge.
Okay.
Is that something we can do?
Yes. No, you're totally fine. Typically, we require a motion because the file does need to be clear of the orders that I'm making on the bench.
Okay.
So I would ask that either of you file a motion requesting that I allow for alternative service.
Okay.
And that can typically be if you know that he has a Facebook account or something to that effect to prove that he is able to receive those documents.
Okay.
Do you, off the top of your head, do you know if he has any sort of social
Yes,
I think he does.
I know that we could probably get that sent over.
Have someone do
Yeah.
that for us.
Very good. Okay. And I guess I want to turn to Mom. Mom, what is your position on the minor guardianship?
So basically, I just want my daughter back. I want the chance to be a mom. I feel like I've been hindered at any point of being a mom. I've been a sister this entire time. I'm ordered to call her sister. I'm not allowed to have her know that I'm her mother. And to me, it's putting her back. It's putting me back. Her sister, Destiny, knows they know they're sisters. And Destiny wants her sister back. She just needs to be home with her mom, her sister, her family. She's still young. I can still get to know her. All I want is to be a good mom to that little girl. And I am nothing, but I can do nothing but do that. I have a great life. I'm thriving. My daughter's thriving. She's doing great. She's in the 6th grade. I won her back from the state of Washington. I've been great for almost 7 years. I graduated drug court. All I want is for that little girl to be home with her mother. And I actually have tickets to come pick her up on Saturday.
And what has your, while this minor guardianship has been pending, have you been having any sort of visitation with her?
No, I haven't. I'm not supposed to have any of this. There's a restraining order that they asked of me.
Okay. I do see at least in that order, there is a stay away order. So I do see that.
Yeah.
The concern I have is A, we don't have service on one of the parents. B, at least from my review of the file, there's been an extended period of minimal contact, I'll say at best. And you can correct me if I'm wrong in my interpretation of what's been filed.
I have tried, but
Okay.
it's not,
Okay.
it doesn't go anywhere.
So what I would ask is that the petitioners, either of you, file that motion for alternative service so we can ensure that father does get served. I guess I'll turn to the petitioners as well. Do you have any objection to any sort of contact between mom and Journey?
No, we've actually never given Brooke a standstill of not being able to talk to Journey. We've never done that her entire life
Until now.
when she said randomly, I'm going to come get my daughter. Yes, granted, she did give birth to her, but we've had her for 10 years. And
Brooke has been very inconsistent.
Every sense in the word, we have done the entire work to make her who she is today. And I'm not discrediting Brooke. She is her mother. I'm proud of her for getting clean, but this is not the way. She barely knows her.
It panicked Journey. Brooke had sent
a message. She sent I'm sorry.
She sent DCYF over here with false claims, and they came as a surprise visit. So they came in, they came to the house, they went through the house, they saw the kids, deemed it false. She's been back a time or two since then, and we've spoken with her. We had to ask her for advice because we weren't sure what to do, because on the 6th, DCYF came. On the 12th, we got a message from Brooke saying, I'm coming to get my daughter, have her ready. And I had to talk to Elise from DCYF and ask her what to do as far as this baby girl's concerned, because I'm trying to do the right thing and I don't want her tearing at me and crying and not knowing what's going on. So we had a family talk. I told her who Brooke was to her, and she wanted to talk to Brooke after that. This is all before this came down to where we had the paperwork filed, and Brooke would not answer any calls. She wouldn't call. She has been.
We had messaged her and let her know that Journey knows that Brooke is her mom.
I was told by the sheriff's office not to interact with any of them.
Ms. Parrish, I'll give you a moment to respond, but let me continue hearing from the petitioners.
So we messaged Brooke on 3 different phones, letting her know that Journey knows that Brooke is her mom and she wanted to have a conversation with her. That is the least that she could have done for her, is have a small conversation. And she wouldn't even answer the phone. She wouldn't answer the text, a call, nothing. So we felt like we were kind of forced to file this motion, so that way we could push it back. Like, there's no way that, in my eyes, a woman who has not been in this child's life for 10 years can come take a baby
all the way to Texas
and just take her away like that.
Everything she knows is here.
My
Her
mom
school,
has been raising
her doctors.
her.
Folks, I'm going to ask that one of you speak at a time. I'm having a hard time tracking.
You go ahead, babe. Or mom. I'm sorry.
her everything's here. Her doctors, her school, her friends, her all the family that she does know. And she's doing very well as far as when she started. And, she was having all these problems, and I've had her in the Progress Center. We did the Youth and Family Link. We've have had her in K-12 and in Butler Acres, and she is doing amazing. She's actually graduated out of one of her IEP programs that she needs, because she's doing better. And I do not want to derail that. We've done a lot of work to get her to this point. A lot of things that Brooke does not know about that she has went through.
And I would also like to point out, since we let Journey know who her mom is, she's had an excessive amount of bedwetting.
And I've got her an appointment at the counseling office here in town. And as soon as I can get it, pardon?
Who is that appointment with?
Columbia Wellness.
And when is that appointment scheduled?
It's on the 30th, and I just want to make sure she's okay, That's
the 30th of October.
Find out. What's that?
The 30th of October?
Yes.
Okay. Ms. Parrish, do you have anything else?
Well, I mean, I guess, so I'm not going to be able to come get her this weekend, correct?
No, because we have several procedural issues. One, we don't have father being served at this point. There is an immediate order in place placing Journey with, the petitioners. There's a lot of uncertainty that I'm still unsure of. I'm inclined today to appoint a guardian ad litem on behalf of Journey. I do want to address visitation, but at this point, by statute, I have to be able to find that it's in Journey's best interest, in addition to if there's a parent willing or able to care for the child. I have no doubt that you, Ms. Parrish, are willing to care for her. I have significant red flags and questions as to if that's in Journey's best interest. And that's why I want a guardian, that's why I want a guardian ad litem to give me more information as to what is in Journey's best interest.
Okay, and I have something to say. Is that okay?
That's absolutely, go ahead.
All right, so I've been paying for my sister. I pay TANF, non-needy TANF to my sister. I don't get to see her, to get to talk to her, and I don't know that there is sister I don't know, sister support. I just want my daughter home, and it seems that every string that you guys can pull, Dinah, is being pulled and just prolonging it and prolonging it and prolonging it. It seems as though even the court thinks that Journey shouldn't be with me. And if the court thinks that you guys are the best choice for her, I love that little girl. I love that little girl.
Ms. Parrish, I'll ask that you direct
choice.
Ms. Parrish, I'll ask that you direct your commentary towards me and not the petitioners. This isn't a time to go back and forth.
Well, I love the little girl, and if they think that that's the best place for her, then let's do that. Let's do that. I can sign my rights over, and you guys can do that, because I can't fight anymore. Mentally, ma'am, I can't do it anymore. I go to weekly therapy because I have seizures, and they're trauma seizures, and I seize every single day. I'm been going to therapy, and this is one of the hurdles I've been trying to get over, and it clearly isn't going to be something that's good for my daughter. Whether she's my daughter or not, if it's not good for her, then I don't want it. I want what's best for her. And if my mom and my sister think that's what's best for her, and they've had her this long, they're right, they have. But I wasn't going to give up without trying. Do you know what I mean? Because I do love that little girl, Your Honor. And if they want her, bring me a piece of paper, and I will sign my rights over, because I can't do this anymore with you guys. I love you guys to death. I love that little girl to death, Your Honor. But if it's not in her best interest, I have to let it go. I can't keep doing this. Do you know what I mean?
I hear you. I hear you. Ms. Parrish, what I want to ask you is, have you spoken with an attorney about this issue?
No, because I can't keep dragging this. It's mentally not fair for her, and it's mentally not fair for me. I felt like if we didn't get this resolved today, if I couldn't come get her and I couldn't establish a relationship with her, then I just would rather her be with her mother, Dinah. And that's really how I feel. I love her to death, but if she is in better care there, and that's really how I feel is being pushed, that's okay. They know her the best. I don't know her. That is the truth. And if she wants to have full custody of her, I will sign my rights over, but I'm not going to pay sister support anymore. And I'm not going to keep trying for something I can't have, because mentally it's draining. And I'm doing very good, and I'm thriving my life. And I just wanted to share that with her. And that's okay that I can't. I'm okay. I'm accepting. I'm okay. I just want Dinah, if you could, or Your Honor, if you could have Dinah send me to sign over my rights, I will do that gladly. Because if that's what's the best interest for the child, I will do that.
Okay, thank you. Ms. Shane or Ms. Pitts, is the child or is your family receiving TANF benefits?
Non-needy TANF for Journey, yes.
Okay.
I believe that Brooke,
Hold on, Ms. Pitts.
I believe that Brooke did provide the paperwork showing that she was paying it or is paying it.
Okay.
So if you need that, it is there somewhere.
Okay. Ms. Looney, I see you're present today. Does the state, from your perspective, have an interest in this matter?
Your Honor, the state would become involved once both parents were served in this matter.
Okay.
So I'm just observing today, but yes, that is accurate that the child is receiving TANF benefits.
Very good. Thank you for that clarification. So at this point, I want to speak to the parties a little bit more. So previously, I had contemplated extending the minor guardianship order until we could get father served and appointing a guardian ad litem on behalf of Journey. Now hearing Ms. Parrish's position, I'm going to turn to the petitioners. How would you like me to proceed at this point?
I'm going to be honest. I think for Journey, I would like to just get it over with. Let's just get the paperwork done. If that's what Brooke wants, let's do it, because we have never wanted to keep Brooke out of this at all. We wanted to keep this out of court. That's why we were messaging her. And you can see in the screenshots we provided that we have tried to get a hold of her on multiple occasions. And some of them I'd like to say is my screenshot. I was not nice in the first message, and I apologize for that, Brooke. I do love you.
I love you too.
And I really, really believe that this should be on Journey's terms. Now that she knows who you are, I think that we should just rip the Band-Aid off, have the paperwork filed completely, and then let's leave it up to Journey. If she wants to get a hold of you and have that relationship, let's let her establish it with you.
I agree. And whatever's best for her. I just want the court to know I love that little girl. And I want you guys to know, Your Honor, can I just address them? I love you guys too, and I love that little girl. But what you guys said to me about me on there is not true. I have not used since October 1st, 2018. I was nowhere near you guys in 2018. That is not right. I take pride, Your Honor, in my in my accomplishments. I have worked so fucking hard. Excuse my language. I've worked so freaking hard to get where I am at. And all I want is that little girl to have her mom, because I don't have my mom. I don't have one. So that's all I wanted. And if that's, it means to say my rights, so do it.
So Ms. Parrish, at this point, I'm going to extend the immediate order on the emergency minor guardianship. Ms. Pitts and Ms. Shane, I still want you both to file the motion for alternative service. We can't enter final orders if father hasn't been served.
Okay.
So we need to get him served, or at least notify him of this proceeding. If he chooses to respond, that's on him. But you have to do your jobs as petitioners to make sure that everyone who is entitled to service receives service. So I want you to file that. I am going to set a review hearing in 60 days. Let's set a date for December 3rd is close to 60 days. We'll do December 3rd at 10 a.m. Presumably by then, he has been served. Final orders may or may not have been prepared and signed off on by Ms. Parrish. Given that that's the route that you folks are hoping to go, I'm not going to appoint a guardian ad litem today. I do encourage visits, and we can discuss putting that into an order if you both think that that's, or the three of you believe that that's appropriate.
Okay. And then you said I'm sorry. You said that we need to get Derek served. And
Yes.
I believe that we can do that, honestly.
We have to file for
and then file for the motion. And then you said one more thing, and I really can't remember, and I'm very sorry for that.
That's okay. We're having a review hearing on December 3rd. By that point, I'm assuming he will be served and that final orders will be forthcoming. If not, at that point, I will have a note in the system to have a guardian ad litem appointed to ensure that this matter does seek finality. Journey does deserve that. All of your families deserve that, frankly.
In final order, did you is that like a submission of paperwork? Is that what you're saying, final order?
So in reviewing the file, and thank you for bringing that to my attention, you do have a full guardianship filed. So if you go to either the clerk's office or the court forms website, you can look up final minor guardianship order or order on minor guardianship. That's what I'm speaking of.
Okay, I'm so glad you clarified. Thank you.
Oh, give me just one moment. The clerk's speaking with me. Sure. So I do see that you have already filed that, or at least prepared it. Obviously, we have some issues regarding service that need to be perfected. Extending. Mm-hmm. Yep, I will. Okay. So I do see that you have already prepared it. What I will task you with doing is if the three of you want to discuss entering this by agreement, which is what I understand is coming of today's hearing, it's likely that there will need to be some revisions to that proposal that you've submitted already. But it looks like you already have that final order. You found it already. So it's just a matter of whether or not you revise it and reach an agreement and get signatures from at least Ms. Parrish after Mr. Malone has been served. Well, it looks like Ms. Pitts may be frozen. Ms. Pitts, can you hear me?
Oh no.
Oh, there we go.
Are we good?
Yes, you're back.
Okay. I don't know what happened. It said the network was unstable all this.
And it looks like we may be having that happen again. Ms. Pitts, what I'll ask is that you turn off your camera. Sometimes turning off your camera saves some bandwidth.
Sorry about that.
That's okay.
What was
And we're losing you again.
Okay, perfect.
Are we there?
Okay,
there we go. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Very good. Okay. So what I was saying, and I don't know at what point you dropped off, but I do see that you have a final order and findings on minor guardianship that you have prepared and presented to the court. Given the discussions that occurred today, I'm assuming there's going to be some revisions that need to be made. But but I'll leave that to you folks. So you've already found the order, so that's the first battle. So I would task you both with revising, chatting with Ms. Parrish. If you folks can come to an agreement and enter that with all of your signatures, we would be happy to sign it. But at this point, obviously, we have the service issue and whether or not you folks are able to reach an agreement. That is what I'm going to assume is going to occur in the next 60 days.
Yep.
Okay.
Your Honor, just have them send me the paperwork or do whatever and I'll sign it.
Okay. Anything else on this matter today? I will be signing, the order extending immediate restraining order. I'll do that off docket today and file that ex parte.
Thank you.
Any other questions from you folks today?
Yes. If we have a stay away order, how can we come to an agreement? Can I call her after this hearing? Can I call you, Brooke? Is that okay?
So let me answer that first, to the extent I can. So I can't give legal advice. I can't interpret an order. But I would task you to do is look at the verbiage in that order.
Okay.
It does say stay away. It restricts Ms. Parrish from coming to your home. See if it says anything as to communications.
Okay.
I'll leave it at that.
I just didn't want to, be a part of something that we weren't supposed to be doing. And then another question, if we do come to an agreement and paperwork needs to be signed, can we certify mail it?
To Ms. Parrish?
Yes. Okay, I just wasn't sure because we've been doing the process server and it's just starting to become an expense.
Absolutely. And I would encourage folks, I know it's really difficult to practice law when you're not an attorney, but there are a lot of resources out there that discuss what type of service is required for what type of document. So I'll refer you to that to determine whether or not personal service is required anymore. And when it is, that may help you moving forward.
Okay, thank you. I appreciate it very much.
Absolutely. Ms. Parrish, anything else from you?
Nope. Thank you, Your Honor.
Okay. If nothing else, then that is it for this matter, and you are all free to go.
Wonderful. Thank you. Mr.
Thank
Davis,
you.
are you here with us?
Thank you.
Yeah, I'm here.
Great. Thanks for your patience. And then Ms. Sherwin, you're still with us?
Yes.
All right, great. So I have the order on the emergency minor guardianship. That order that I was having brought in was kindly brought in to me. So there's just a few things I'm going to fill out. And as I go through that, I just want to verify. I may have to verify a few things with you as we go along. So it'll be a little bit slow, might be a little bit tedious, but we'll work through it as quickly as we can. So bear with me just one moment. And Ms. Everdell, are you aware that there's some guardianship training that you'll need to complete?
Yes, I think I read that. We need to figure out how to get that done. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Very good. Just making sure there's questions here related to Nakia's, if she has any tribal heritage. I think the indication was no, but just want to confirm that with mom and dad. Mr. Davis, does Nakia have any tribal heritage? He's got a shaking the head, no, meaning, okay. And then if you can figure out the mute thing, let me know. And then Ms. Sherwin.
Oh, sorry about that, Your Honor.
Yeah. So to your knowledge, there's no tribal heritage for Nakia?
No tribal heritage.
Okay, thanks. Ms. Sherwin. Let's see, is Ms. Sherwin with us still? Looks like she dropped off. Okay. And Mr. Davis, you're not an active member of the military?
No, I'm not.
Okay, and is to anybody's knowledge, is Ms. Sherwin an active member of the military?
No.
No.
All right, thanks. All right, I just have a general question. I saw Mr. Davis, you dropped off, but you're back on, so I wasn't saying anything other than I wanted to ask the parties a quick question about the next review date. We could set it out 60 days. We could set it out 90 days. We could set it out 6 months. I'm not sure what would be a good time frame based on what you know about the situation. Ms. Everdell, do you have a suggestion?
Probably 60 to 90.
60 to 90 days. Okay.
Yeah.
Mr. Davis, do you have an input on that?
I totally agree.
60. Okay. All right. So let's take a look at a 60-day time frame. Today we're the 24th of September. So that would put us to November. We probably should set it for the 19th of November. So we'll set the next hearing date for November 19th, 2024. And then, Ms. Everdell, between now and then, if you can provide proof of that completion of the lay guardian training, that would be important.
Okay. Do I just bring that into the clerk's office?
Yes. Yep.
All right. Thank you, Your Honor.
They can file that. And then, so at this point, as far as the guardians, Ms. Everdell's authority to make decisions and provide guidance and safety and good carekeeping of Nakia, sounds like school and education decisions. Mr. Davis, are you comfortable with Ms. Everdell making those decisions?
Yeah, I am.
Okay. Non-emergent healthcare. Are you comfortable with her, setting up appointments, taking her to Nakia to doctor's appointments and the like?
Yeah, whatever appointment she needs that Nakia needs, I'm 100% okay with Patty doing.
Okay. There's a box for authority to make a decision on a driver's license. I don't know what your thoughts are on that, Mr. Davis, as far as decision making.
Yeah, Patty can make that decision and stuff. I know Nakia has been really adamant about trying to learn, so I don't want to kind of hold something from her. So yeah, I totally agree. Patty has authorization for that.
Okay. There's also a box related to applying for a passport and international travel. That doesn't need to be decided. It's an authority that can be granted, but doesn't need to be. Is that anybody foresee any necessity of that?
We were already applying for her passport.
Okay.
I object to that. I mean, I prefer her not to get a passport anytime soon until things are figured out.
Okay. All right. I think just for the time being, just for the next little bit, we're going to pause that, and I'll give that authority to the guardian at this point. As far as access to records, school and educational records, I'll grant that to Ms. Everdell, and healthcare records, I'll grant that access to her. As far as visitations, it sounds like the parties, like I said, are working well together to ensure Nakia's well-being. There's a section here as far as visitation. Sometimes people can just work that out just fine. Other times there needs to be some guidance and guardrails and put in place. Does anybody feel like there needs to be any delineation or specification of what visitation should be or not be? Or should we just leave it kind of open-ended and you can work on it if that's the right thing to do?
I don't think there's an issue. I think it should be open-ended, in my opinion.
Okay, so Mr. Davis, just to make sure I understood you, it was a bit garbled. It said it should just be open-ended. I think that's what you said.
Yeah, sorry, I'm kind of sick right now.
Okay, thanks. Ms. Sherwin, are you online still?
Yes.
Are you okay with it being open-ended?
Yes.
Okay, so I'll just put as agreed between guardian and parents. I'm making an assumption, and the parties can correct me if I'm wrong, that you're not asking me to make any orders related to child support, health insurance, or taxes at this point.
No, Your Honor.
Not at this time.
Okay. And no one's requesting a restraining order or a stay away order. Is that correct?
Correct, Your Honor.
Okay. And I'm going to hold off appointing what they call a guardian ad litem or court visitor at this point. That could be something that could be addressed later on, but it kind of sounds like right now there's just kind of this a bit of wait and see, maybe healing time, if you will, to kind of see how things move in the future. And if they don't, then the court may appoint a guardian ad litem or court visitor to do a brief investigation and hear from the parties and see what's in the best interest of Nakia and the parties. So I won't order anything there. All right, so I'm on page 10 of 10. So thanks for your patience. Okay, so what I've done, I've I've signed off on this order on emergency minor guardianship, which places gives the emergency minor guardianship to Patricia Everdell to care for Nakia, and that there's no tribal heritage. The court does have proper jurisdiction. Neither parent is involved in the military or serving actively. The guardian has decision-making authority and authority to care for the child in both education and medical and passport and travel internationally and driver's license. The next hearing is set for the 19th of November. And that'll be at 10 o'clock in the morning. By function of this order, the guardianship would end on November 24th, but we'll be addressing things on the 19th, so I think we'll be fine there. Then Ms. Everdell is going to complete the lay guardianship training and provide proof to the court, just file that. And then the visitation will be as agreed between the guardian and the parents. And there's no request for support, health insurance, or taxes at this point, and there's no request for a temporary restraining order. So that's the order that I signed off on. Any questions or concerns from any of the parties, starting with Ms. Everdell?
So they had us set up a court date for October 10th. We don't have to do that one now.
You do.
Oh, we do.
Yeah. So I think it's important that we have that just to kind of follow the rules that are there, because when there's a summons, there's make sure that those timelines are followed and everybody comes to court. And it may not be a long court hearing, but nonetheless, it'll be another opportunity to just check in with everybody, make sure things are going okay.
Okay, perfect. Thank you.
Okay. Mr. Davis, any further questions on your end?
No, I don't.
Thank you. And Ms. Sherwin, any further questions on your end?
No.
Okay. All right. So with that, the hearing is complete and we'll get that order filed.
All right, thank you, Your Honor.
Thanks.
Thank you, Your Honor.
All right. That marks the end of the minor guardianship docket for this morning. Thanks everybody for your time and attention and effort. And I'll go ahead.